In the episode Brian Griffin's House Beats.
Who could this be? Take a guess.
It's McKinley.
Oh.
His name is always Grass.
Why is your name always Grass, McKinley?
I don't know.
Well, why isn't it Tree?
It's the name the computer came with.
Oh, okay. You feeling better or worse?
I'm feeling better.
All right, that's good. Cool. This is going to say your homework is 1 through 17 all. I'm using the regular class, but your homework wasn't 1 through 17 all. What was it, 1 through 25? Something like that? Okay. Which was the hard one? One of them?
The true or false.
Which one?
The true or false one.
True or false one? Isn't that weird that you would think that true or false would be the easiest ones?
The figure out whether they're true or false ones is hard. It's mostly just like figure out certain things.
Mike, are you already in trouble?
Mr. Chartier, do you want me to turn in my homework by picture and email, or do you just want to wait till
You're going to
Friday?
hold it up to me, and I'm going to look at it right after we do this.
Okay.
McKinley, you think you're going to be back to school on Monday or no?
I think I might be back to school on Friday.
We're going to take the test Friday. Is that another person?
I have arrived.
That's Ben. He's alive.
Yes, I'm
What'd you
sorry.
go
I
play?
have
Did you go play golf?
no. I had a thingy I had to go to.
Thingy you had to go.
business. Yeah. Called a
All right.
doctor. Now leave me alone.
Test tomorrow. All right. Questions? Yeah. 18 and 19. All right. So it says draw a summary diagram to help you decide whether each statement is true or false. If it's false, you got to show a counterexample of true. You got to draw what it would look like if it's true that you could use in a proof. List terms and diagrams, what's given and what's to be proved. Do not write a proof. So I'm not asking you to literally prove it, just what diagram would you use to prove it? All right, so number 18 is, if a triangle has two congruent sides, then the opposite angles of those sides must be congruent. All right, so if two sides of a triangle are congruent, we're given that, supposedly that this angle and this angle are the same. What do you think, true or false?
True.
What, okay, you got to tell me why you think it's true, though. Not a proof, but why do you think it's true?
Zoom.
So the easiest way, the intuitive way is, well, let's just say that this angle is not the same as this one. That means it's either bigger or smaller, right? Well, let's make it a little bit bigger, and what happens? This one has to be longer, right? Let's make it a little bit smaller. What happens? Then this one is smaller, therefore they could not be congruent. There you go. So it's got to be true. There's your picture. Now it says to write a proof. I'm not going to go in that far, but it would be something like, you know, if this side is congruent to this side, prove that that angle is. That would be the setup of the proof. All right, 19. If a triangle has two congruent angles, then the opposite sides, then the sides opposite them must be congruent. It's basically the converse to that statement. So now we're not given that the two sides are congruent, we're given the two angles are congruent. We're trying to prove that this one is congruent with that one. So true or false? Okay, so let's think about it if it was false. So if these angles were not congruent, And that means one would be bigger, therefore I'm making that one longer, or if it's smaller, then I'm making that side smaller. So it's got to be true. Yeah, both those are true. Is that it? McKinley or Ben, you got any questions?
No?
Everything.
Everything?
Everything.
Did you watch the video?
Yes, I did.
So all we're doing is looking for a pattern and continuing the pattern. That is what's called inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning is when the thing, if the if part is true, then the then part must be true. That's deductive reasoning. All right, so
Yeah.
number one, say again. Ben?
Yes.
I thought you were asking a question.
No, I was not.
Okay. All right, number one is 256, 1,024. Number two is 6, then 3. Number 3 is 1 over 81, 1 over 243. Number 4 is 2536. Number 5 is 1723. Number 7 is 154. Number 8 is negative 1/4, positive 1/8. If you ever see it going negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, it only happens one of two ways. Either you're multiplying by a -1 or a negative something, or you're dividing by a negative. That's the only way it flip-flops. If it goes negative, positive, and then that pattern doesn't decrease, you could be subtracting by a negative potentially, but it will eventually turn all positive or all negative if you are in fact adding or subtracting. All right. Oh yeah. Number 9 is 500 and then 250. All right. Number 10 is Chan is older than Sarah. Number 11, there's no conclusion from that one. Number 12, polygon G has 7 sides. You can't have a point something side, so it's got to have 7 sides. Number 13, you can't come to any conclusion. Number 4 is, now this one's weird. It says, do you reason deductively or inductively to conclude the following? At least one of the sisters likes tacos. You're figuring this out deductively. So it says there's 3 sisters, 2 of them are athletes, and 2 of them like tacos. Can be sure that both sisters like tacos. You can be sure that at least one. There's only 3 kids, and if 2 of them like tacos, one of them must be an athlete. You can't conclude that using deductive reasoning that both of them like tacos, but you certainly can conclude one. So I guess the answer is no, you can't conclude that, and you are using deductive reasoning for that. That's 14. 15, those were the actual easier ones. You just follow the pattern. There's not really much to do there, right? It's just like you're just increasing every digit, number 15 by 1, so give me 5 ones. Number 16, we're just increasing things by an 8, so give me, 5 eighths. Number 17 is the more interesting one. Well, if you follow the pattern, it's 9 squared, then 99 squared, then 999 squared. So it would basically be 9,999 squared, and that's a really big number. And I'm sure you got it right. 18 was true, 19 was true, 20 was false. 21 was true, 22 was true, 23 was false, 24 was false, and 25 was true. And that was it. All she wrote. Don't panic.
Why does it say only 1 through 17 on the homework corrections?
You came in late, so I got lazy, and I'm just showing you the review for the test is the same for honors and regular, so I didn't pull up the honors review. I just pulled up this one and said, oh, by the way, the homework should say 1 through 25 all.
Oh.
All right.
What if
Are you feeling sick, Ben?
no.
You sound like you're just saying random words.
I'm sorry.
All right.
What
Okay,
page is
so
the
quick.
Pepper test on?
Say again?
What page is the chapter test on?
It's going to be on Teams. Can you get on Teams, McKinley?
Yes, I just have to get out of this.
Yeah, I will have it posted in, maybe I have it posted right now. Let me check. You can post something every 30 minutes. For some reason, it doesn't allow you to post immediately. I thought I made it, let's see.
Can't get in.
Honors, assignments. Come on. What's going on here? Chapter 3 practice test. And it is going to go live 2:30. So at 2:30, this will be available on Teams.
Okay.
Okay.
And also, do you want me to take the test tomorrow if I come back, or wait till Monday, or what?
Well, I want you to be prepared. So if you do this practice test, I think you're going to be very comfortable with taking it tomorrow, but we'll play it by ear. Yes?
Yes.
I think he said yes. All right. So quick review. I try to do this every time we do a geometry one, just simply because there's so much stuff. So everything from chapter 3, let's see. It was basically about special angles. Now we did have 2 special angles from chapters 1 and chapter 2. What were those 2 angles? Angle pairs. What were those 2 from chapters 1 and chapter 2? There's only 2 of them. Vertical angles and angles that make a line. So linear pair. So adjacent angles that make a straight line, that was a special one. They add up to 180. Vertical, they're congruent. But then the rest of the chapter was dealing with two parallel lines cut by transversal. So a corresponding congruent, alternate interior congruent, and same side interior supplementary, add up to 180. So those are all the special angles dealing with shapes, other than that one last one, which was the triangle exterior angle theorem. And that said that, remember, the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Okay. And then lastly, we dealt with those polygons for interior and exterior angles. We had those 4 formulas. And that's pretty much the whole chapter right there, right? You will have, I think it's just I gave you one inductive reasoning question. I'm just going to give you a string of numbers. You're going to predict the next 2 numbers, that sort of thing. And then I will give you a medium proof. So it'll be a challenge somewhat. It's not impossible. You don't need to draw any auxiliary lines or do any extra labeling or anything weird like that. You just got to look at it and try to figure it out. So it will require you to do a little bit more. If I showed you the one I'm using for the regular class, it's really simple. But this one's got to be a bit more challenging because you're an honors class. So you'll have 1 proof. So if you can do all above the red there, you're guaranteed to get a B. You got to get it all right though, right? So if you can do all above the red, you're guaranteed to get a B, high B at that. The proof will kick you into the A category. So I always make all my geometry tests just like this. If you can do everything but the proof, you're going to pass. The proof is what's going to separate the A's from the B's type thing. And I will give partial credit on the proof. So, you know, if you get almost everything of the other stuff right and a little bit of the proof right, you can still get an A. But you got to at least know what you're doing. And then just remember for this one, my practice test this time, unlike the previous one, it's going to be exactly like the test. And boys, that's about where I'm going to wrap up here, unless you have any. I just handed out the practice test to them. You guys have any specific questions?
No.
Ben, could you see my corrections on the thing that I sent you back last Saturday on the test?
Yes, I did.
Okay, cool. So you're going to get an A this time, right?
Sure.
Well, I do want you to have an A for the quarter, so you need to step it up and get an A on this test. You can
What's
get
an
an A
A
on this test.
minus right now?
I know, but if you get a B on this test, that A minus is going to be a B.
Oh, no. What if I get an A minus on the test? What will that give me?
We could calculate your grade, but I would say I don't know what you got on your first test. What did you get on your first test?
I don't know.
I don't know either. If you got an A minus on the first test and you got a B on the second test, an A- on this test, then your grade should go up. All right, if there's no question, then you'll be able to see the practice test, and then their answers are there as well too. Obviously, I don't give you a practice on the proof, but everything else will be exactly like the test. So you're looking at the test when you do this practice test. Questions?
So you don't want me to send my homework by email or wait till Friday?
No,
or
I'm going
send
to
it
ask
by-
you. I'm going to ask you right now. I'm going to stop the share here. Just hold up your homework, McKinley. Yep, you did it. Thank you. What is that blue thing behind you?
Oh, it's a little ring alarm thing.
Oh, cool.
Keypad.
Yep.
Lock the doors.
You have any questions,
Send
McKinley?
to the door. Nope.
No. Okay, Ben?
No.
All right, and then I'll let you two guys go. Like I said, it'll be live in about 20 minutes. You'll be able to get that. And then McKinley, if you're coming back, do the practice test, and then you'll take your test tomorrow. Unless you run into any
Okay.
difficulty, then I can give you, an extra day if you need it. Okay. All right.
Got
I'm
it.
gonna close it down, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or I won't see Ben. I'll see Ben on Monday. See you, McKinley, tomorrow.
Goodbye.